Hi, I'm Lucy Hanson, and today I'm going to give a demonstration on how to put together your desk and workshop tool organizer. I have 3 cameras I'll be using, so let's kind of go over to see what the kit looks like. Let's switch cameras. This is the kit that you got in the mail. If the lighting, I'll try to adjust the lighting so that it's not quite so stark. That is the kit, and that picture shows what it should look like when we get through, except that's upside down. Let's try this way. Switch cameras again and get an idea of what it should look like when we're done with it. You'll have a place up here on top for your tools to be inserted. They have a resting place at the bottom. You have a place for a large bottle of glue or paint or whatever you want to put in that. You've also got the smaller one for the small bottle of glue. Let's switch cameras again and look at it from up above. I just put the glue jig on the photo surface. I'm going to show you the first steps. Is you're going to put both of these pieces are the same size. One will go at the back, and one will go as a base. First thing you're going to want to do is put glue on the back edge. It's the flat edge of the base piece. Slide it up against the back and secure it with magnets. The one thing that I want to make sure is that it is square. Let's switch cameras, and you can see where I put the square up against the back. And it's square all the way across. And the one thing that I always do when I've glued something, there's always, if you can see it, there's always this glue oozing out the front. I take an old toothbrush and I remove its handle. And I use the old toothbrush to remove the glue. You can also take the handle and bevel the end of it so that you can clean the glue. So an old toothbrush comes to life again. While that's drying, I'm going to set that aside. And I'm going to make the tool holder. The tool holder comes in 4 parts. These 2 ends, the top and the base. Top and base are exactly the same. I have already glued and nailed these ends onto one piece. And now I've got to turn it over and glue and nail the opposite end. Please remember that slot has to match slot, and these larger ones have to match the larger ones. It's not going to work real well if you do it in reverse. So let's put a little bit of glue on the end. Get the hammer out. We now have a tool holder. That I can glue in place, and it does not make any difference to me whether you put it this way or that way or this way or reverse. By gluing this to the base and the back, you are now permanently squaring it up. So let's do that now. With my glue dispenser, put a bead of glue on the back all the way around. A little bit on the bottom. We'll glue it in place. If you happen to have clamps, a set of clamps at this end and a clamp or two up at this end will help. Let's get my little toothbrush out and get this glue up. Dig out my clamp. Whoops. Oh, I didn't get the big enough clamp. When all else fails, we'll use some tape. Secure the tool holder to the back. Now, I have to make the glue bottle holders. And I'm going to put my big one on the outside and my little one on the inside. Let's set this aside. Oops. This is the larger glue bottle holder, and we have three pieces. Obviously, this is the part that sits up on top that holds the bottle. This little piece has a hole, or what I call a divot, in the bottom that holds the bottom bottle tip, which means that you've got one piece with two nails that sits at the back. Let's tip this camera down a little bit. There. Now I numbered these to start with, and you may want to number them, what goes where, because we know we do get interrupted now and then, and we forget where we're at. So a little bit of glue Grab the hammer. Then a little bit of glue on the edge. Make sure it's flush on the bottom. And there you have a glue bottle holder. I'm going to tip this camera down a little bit. I'll set that aside and do the little one. Oh, I already have a little one done. I added a piece of foam core with a little piece of tape on top of it. I didn't add enough tape. Let's add a little bit more tape on top. And I'll show you in a minute what that's for. That's the small glue bottle holder so that when you put your small bottle of glue in, it has a place to rest. So now that we have the two glue bottle holders made, let's install them. On our one of the things that I remind everybody when they're making this is to think ahead. At some point in time, you're going to want to clear some glue or spread some glue. What I do is I take an old room key, I leave enough room between these two so that I can stick a room key in there anytime I want to, or a piece of plastic card. And yes, this is going to overlap on the edge because this is one of the older big glue bottle holders. You can also use that space for your credit card or plastic card. Let's glue these on. A little dab of glue on the bottom, a little bit on the back. Same holds true here. Put my credit card over there. And I can that's it. I've made it. Let's find out what you can do with it now. Your larger bottle of glue can sit on the big glue bottle holder. I always put foam core and a pin so that I can keep that clean. A little container for water. And before I get too carried away, I have a 6-foot tape measure that I'll probably need. I'll need a ruler. And it sits right down in the receptacle. I'll need a pencil. I'll need an X-Acto knife. Definitely need tweezers. Sanding implements, I tuck them in a nice flat stage area with the ruler. If we're in a class, 9 chances out of 10, we're going to end up having to paint. So I always keep a little bottle for water. And of course, if we're in a class, one of the things we're going to need is a notepad. Let's take, for instance, and I hope I can get this far enough away. Put a clamp on this end and a roll of tape. And yes, your glue bottle will fit in there under the tape. We do have some scissors. I always keep a little piece of foam core on the front by using maybe some double-faced tape on the back of the foam core. Get the backing off that tape, and I'm going to put it down there. A good chance that I'm going to need push pins at some point in time, and that's a good way to hold them. Now I have 3 more holes up there on top. One I use for a hammer. Put an alligator clip up on top of my ruler. Let's see, this camera doesn't go any higher. The alligator clips come in pretty doggone handy sometimes. I always keep another clamp, sort of. That square I used, I can clamp it right in place and have it ready for my class. Because if we're taking a workshop, sometimes having an awful lot of tools is a deterrent. It's difficult when you've got this big toolbox carrying it around. Lots of room for more clamps. Of course, I always reserve a space for my toothbrush. And there you have it. Let's go over to, if you have any problems at all with the instructions, I'm an email away. All you have to do is email me. Let me help you. Thank you very much for purchasing this little caddy. I'm always trying to make improvements on some of our tools. So if you got any ideas on how to do it or how to make extra space on this for extra things, be my guest, give me an email, and I'll work on it. Thank you.